Well, joining us now is, I'm so sorry, Georgina Wright. Thank you very much indeed, Georgina. And you're from the Institute of Government.
For government.
Can I ask you, first of all, what you make generally of this deal? It appears people are saying it's a harder Brexit than any of the offers so far.
So it's really interesting when you actually look at the legal text. So most of the Theresa May's withdrawal agreement is still there. The big changes are around the Northern Ireland Protocol. So we know that the backstop has gone. And also the political declaration signals that the UK could seek a looser trading relationship with the EU. So those are the big kind of changes.
Now, I mean, what about this border in the North Sea? It sounds in the Irish Sea. It seems a very amorphous sort of a thing.
So basically, the UK and the EU primary concern was how to minimise those checks along the border. Now, what they found was, and what they've decided, is that the whole of the UK would leave the EU's customs union at the end of the transition period. That gives the United Kingdom the freedom to strike its own free trade agreements, to set its own tariffs. But of course, there is still that issue of that border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. And what they've decided is that Northern Ireland would remain part of the EU's area of industrial goods. So basically it means that it would continue to apply EU standards and also for agri-foods. And it would also apply EU customs duties and EU tariffs. There would be certain exceptions. So if you live in England and you want to move to Northern Ireland, you'd obviously not have to pay any tariffs there. And likewise, there would be certain products that wouldn't be subjected to EU tariffs. But all of that has yet to be determined.
Hardly any surprise then that the DUP oppose it, because it does sound actually as if a concept of a bit of Northern Ireland is still in the European Union, even when we've left.
So, of course, the aim and that space for compromise was very small, of course, between the EU and the UK. But what they seem to have found is an arrangement that would enable to minimise the checks along that border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. But then there would be checks inevitably along the Irish Sea.
I want to ask you a non-academic question. Is it possible to evaluate whether this is a harder Brexit deal than the previous two deals, or is it somehow something different?
Well, this is what I always like to say. This is, if this deal were to pass on Saturday and we venture into the next phase, this is sort of the end of the beginning, but it's not the beginning of the end. The whole future relationships, so our trading relationship with the EU, our security arrangement, all of that has yet to be negotiated, and all of that is up for grabs. At the moment, what you're seeing and the signals is that the UK government wants to seek a looser arrangement, and that would signal a harder form of Brexit, but who knows, everything has yet to be negotiated.
And briefly, where will we be in 5 years' time? Better off?
Who knows? Everything depends on those negotiations, not only with the EU, but also how other negotiations go with countries around the world.
You're not prepared to venture an opinion?
No, not at this stage. I think everything is so unpredictable. I'm not going to take my bets right now.
Georgina Wright, thank you very much indeed for joining